Thanks for watching Lessons in Minutes with Jaylee. Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe.
Today, we're going to look at the sales journal. The sales journal is also known as the sales book or sales day book. At the end of this lesson, you should be able to prepare a sales book from a set of invoices. Now, before we go any further, we're just going to review the purpose of the sales journal and the source document. Now, the sales journal is used to record credit sales, basically goods sold on credit. And remember, that is goods. So these items would have to be included into purchases for it to be recorded as sales when it is sold. The source document is the sales invoice. So from the sales invoice, the sales journal is prepared. Now, here is a sample of the sales invoice. And from what you're seeing right here, then basically we're looking at the books of West Bay Supplies. West Bay Supplies is the supplier. So your business would have to be the supplier for you to use this as a sales invoice. So the customer would be Kingford Stores. Let's just pause to assess the process that a business goes through once there is a credit sale. Once a credit sale is made, an invoice is prepared, and that would be the sales invoice. So West Bay Supplies would prepare a sales invoice, and you're seeing that this sales invoice was prepared and issued to Kingford Stores. Now, from the invoice, what would be done, the next step basically is to prepare the sales journal. So you're making a record of the credit sales. The amount that will be picked up from this invoice would be the total amount that is due, which is $108. And definitely, of course, this information is required when you're preparing your sales journal because it serves as evidence that a transaction took place, and that is the number coming from the invoice. From the sales invoice, a record of the credit sale would be made to the sales journal. The next step is to post to the respective customer account in the sales ledger, and at the end of the period, the total credit sales is posted to the general ledger, to the sales account in the general ledger. Now, for this session, just remember that all we're doing is looking at preparing the sales journal. So we're going to move over to a question, and this question reads, Stevens owns a retail unit selling kitchen equipment. During June 2018, he issued the following sales invoices to customers. And we have a list of invoices right here, June 2nd, June 12, June 15, June 29. Those are the transaction dates. Very important. What you're required to do is to prepare the accounting records necessary to record these transactions. A, sales book. B, receivable accounts in the sales ledger. C, sales accounts in the general ledger. And you are to invent suitable folio references. Today, as I indicated in this lesson, all I'm looking at is A, which is the sales book. In another session, we will look at the others. So let us move into preparing the response for part A of this question. We are preparing the sales journal for Stephen, so that information is important. And definitely your title, sales journal, because you have to indicate which book of original entry you are preparing. Very important. The columns are date, details, or you can simply use customer, invoice number, which is coming from the source document. And in some questions, you'll get the number as you're seeing with this one. Some you will not get the number. So if you don't get the number, you would leave this blank, unless the question indicates that you're to invent invoice numbers. The folio, we will deal with that in another session as indicated earlier. And definitely we have the amount column because we need to know what is the credit sales to that particular customer. So here we go. The date is 2018. The first transaction read June 2nd. So to complete that date, it is June 2nd. The invoice number is W1131. The details read, the transaction reads sales invoice sent to Upford Kitchens Limited for goods 3,740. So let's complete this entry. Our customer is Upford Kitchens Limited, and the amount is 3,740. Let's move into June 12th. That transaction reads, sales invoice sent to A Bundle for goods 2,670. The invoice number is W1132. The details is the customer's information, which is A Bundle. Our invoice number is W1132, and the amount is 2,670. So we'll move into the other, and that is June 15th. Details coming from the transaction there says invoice sent to Upford Kitchens Limited for goods 5,090. So the details is Upford Kitchens Limited, and the invoice is W1133. The amount is 5,090. And we're going to move into the very last one, which is June 29th. Sales invoice sent to A Bundle for goods 1,480. So our details is A Bundle. Invoice number is W1134, and the amount is 1,480. Now that we have recorded all the credit sales, we are now going to total at the end of the period, which is June 30th. Our details is total credit sales. Total credit sales for the month, or you can simply write transferred to sales account. What we need to generate now is the total credit sales for the period. So you're going to add each credit sales to get the total. Having done that, our total is 12,980. And that takes us to the end of preparing the sales book. Remember, in another session, we will be looking at B and C, where we'll be posting the credit sales to the respective accounts in the ledgers.
Like, share, and don't forget to subscribe.